This is the Sales Gravy Podcast. I'm Jeb Blount, best-selling author of People Buy You, and I'm here to help you knock down more doors, close bigger deals, and rock your commission check. In this special edition of the Sales Gravy Podcast, I sit down with John Patrick from Buzz on Biz, and we discuss social media and how to use social media in sales. Before we get started, I want to encourage you to go to Amazon or go to Barnes & Noble or wherever books are sold and pick up a copy of my brand new book, Fanatical Prospecting. You're going to love this book, and it's a book that I guarantee will make you more money this year. Go now and get Fanatical Prospecting wherever books are sold. Here is my interview with John Patrick from Buzz on Biz.
And it's Monday, and that means Jeb Blount, the CEO of Sales Gravy, back on the program. Find out more about Sales Gravy on the website, salesgravy.com. Jeb is also a best-selling author, working on his 7th book.
Working on my 7th book, that's right.
And what's the name of that?
Fanatical Prospecting. It'll be out in July.
Fanatical Prospecting. Now, so the books you've been writing how long?
Since 2007.
Okay, so about 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Through that period, along with books, comes social media. I assume Sales Gravy is on Twitter.
We're on Twitter, we're on Google+, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and salesgravy.com is also, believe it or not, a social media site. We have the largest sales talent community in the world outside of LinkedIn in a Facebook's environment on Sales Gravy.
So that portion of sales, to try and draw a correlation, that portion of Sales Gravy is sort of like LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's sort of like LinkedIn. I mean, it's a place for sales professionals to come and write a blog or post something in our feed. And a lot of salespeople put their profiles up there, frankly, because they want to get found and get hired.
What is help me with what is, we'll center on LinkedIn a little bit, the value of LinkedIn and the value of that kind of social media. Who ought to be on it? What's the value of it?
Well, I believe that everybody who's in business should be on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is a fantastic tool. It's like the Yellow Pages, except for it's online. So back in the early 90s when I first started in my sales career, I mean, honestly, you had to either drive around, you had some Yellow Pages, or your company gave you a list of people.
Right.
And today, before I walk in, I can go to LinkedIn, I can find your profile, I can learn a little bit about you, I can pop over to Facebook, I can understand you. So social media has made selling so much easier in a world where a lot of people say it's much harder, but it's way easier because I can get all of this information. And I'll give you an example. We have a group on LinkedIn. So we have 29, almost 30,000 people in the Sales Gravy group on LinkedIn.
Okay.
When people join LinkedIn, they have to request to join our group. We don't let any riffraff into our group, so only salespeople. So they join, and April, who is on my staff, who lets people into the group, she goes through the profiles, and when she finds people that are in our prospect base or in our targeted prospect base, she sends them over to the salespeople. The salespeople pick up the phone and call them. So we had a couple of recruiters that came in from a big software company. She sent them over to my rep, found how many sales jobs they had posted on their website. My rep gives them a call and then sells them a package on Sales Gravy to post their jobs on our website.
How much are you personally using social media?
I'm on social media all day long, every day. In fact, I just took your picture and we're going to post it on social media, and I'm sure your lawyers will give me a call.
You'll hear from my lawyer.
But I'm on social media all the time. I have 100,000 so people that follow me on Twitter, and Twitter truly is my favorite. I guess is my favorite tool. I'm on Google+. I'm on Facebook. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. I've got a pretty big following there. So I think social media, especially if you're an author, if you're a personality, if this is what you do for a living, it's an easy way to get your message out.
Well, okay, and that was going to be my next question. How much of this is, I don't want to belittle it by not calling it valuable information, but how much of it is when you're going to post something? What are you thinking about? And how much of this is propelling your brand?
It's a big part of my brand. It's a big piece of driving that, and it gets me stuff. People from media companies engage with me. From the publisher, they engage with me. I mean, there's a lot of currency in having, say, 100,000 followers. I guess I got 101, almost 102,000 followers on Twitter. There's currency in that, and it's juice. So that when an organization came to us and we're doing some video training, and they came to us specifically because we have such a big platform and we can move people. And the key with social media is driving engagement. So I've got a client, for example, locally here, and we've been working with them on their social media strategy. And the most important thing for them is to really target their audience. And they're doing a pretty good job of getting people engaged and getting people focused and recognizing that their social media strategy is a long-term strategy. A lot of people believe social media is quid pro quo. So I post something and I'm supposed to get something back, or I send an email or I'm supposed to get something back. And it's really not about that. Although it's great for prospecting, I can identify you and pick up the phone and call you. It's about being there and using it as, if you're a business, using it as a long-term marketing strategy. And it costs money. It's expensive.
We are talking with best-selling author, the CEO at Sales Gravy, Jeb Blount. The website is salesgravy.com. Can you tweet too much? Can you do too much on social media?
Absolutely.
How do you know that threshold?
Well, I know it because it starting to look like spam. So, I see people that have, 50,000 tweets. I mean, think about it. If the only way you can have 50,000 tweets is if a machine is doing the tweets for you. So I'll see someone with, say, 10,000 followers and 50,000 tweets, and you're getting no place, where I've got, 102,000 followers and less than 10,000 tweets. So I don't have machines posting for me. I post my own stuff. A lot of it's just things off the top of my head. I know that you're a big Facebook guy, and so you kind of do the same thing. If you think about something, you post it. It's interesting. I follow you and pay attention to it because there are things there of interest, and I know that it's authentic. I know you're not just posting just to put content out, and I really do think that's the key. That's harder. It's a whole lot easier to put a whole bunch of stuff into some machine and have them go get posted for you.
How much thought should a company put in to what they're tweeting?
I think they should put a lot of thought into it. And if you're a really big company, that's one thing. But let's just, if probably this audience is a lot of small businesses, and social media is huge for small businesses because it gives you an avenue to engage with people that you never had before. I mean, prior to social media, you were at the mercy of the people who owned the media, with all forgiveness to Buzz on this, but I mean, but you were at their mercy. And today you can take your message into your own hands, and you can pay attention. You can listen to what the marketplace is telling you. I mean, your customers are online, and if you provide a bad customer experience and they say so, you have an opportunity to go fix that and fix it publicly, which then makes your brand even stronger.
If you're the owner of a company that has 10 salespeople, do you let those salespeople tweet independently, or do you kind of make sure that every tweet that goes out from the company someone has monitored?
I think you need to be careful with it. I think that, whether it's tweeting or LinkedIn or Facebook, LinkedIn's got a really nice machine now, or a tool that allows you to blog online. And so I think it's important that if you're a small business, that the people working for your business, that you have them online and that you have them, posting. And you've got to be careful not to allow them to have access to your accounts. But I certainly encourage everybody on my organization to post and tweet and like and click and do whatever they can online, because you get a lot of power in that. You get 10 people that are all working for your brand. It really moves some numbers for you. On the other hand, you want to be careful about the messaging. So you want to make sure that you're giving them things to tweet. A lot of businesses will tell their salespeople, "We'll go out and get online," but salespeople are salespeople, not content creators.
Right.
So if you can create the content and put that up to them, then it allows them to build your brand online. The one thing that business owners need to be careful of with their salespeople on social media is that there's this big movement called social selling, which is basically a myth. If you think about it, the only people that are doing social selling is if you own a dress shop and you're basically using an e-commerce site and linked, have it connected to your Facebook site. But for the most part, you're social prospecting. And so a lot of business owners will have their salespeople spending hours and hours and hours wrapped up in, say, LinkedIn, trying to connect with people people, but not actually picking up the phone and engaging with them. And so you end up with basically no productivity. And then there's all these experts out there that are telling you that this is the only way of doing it. And we know that's not true. We know the fact is that you still have to pick up the phone and you still have to engage. So if you can work with your salespeople to teach them appropriate social media skills, teach them how to send, say, for example, an email, and do it in a way that gets the prospect's attention, engages them, and creates an action, and there's a methodology for doing that works, then you've got a real powerful tool in your hands. If you teach them how to use that for pre-call planning so that they're getting information before they walk in the door, you've got a powerful tool in your hands. But if you just go say, use social media, most salespeople, even though we're in this age of technology, don't know how. And what's really striking is that a lot of kids getting out of college who we assume because they're millennials know how to use social media have absolutely no clue.
He is Jeb Blount. He is the CEO of Sales Gravy. Find out more on the website, salesgravy.com. Best-selling author, motivational speaker, business speaker, and we're going to get into some of that when you're with us next week. Thanks, Jeb.
Thank you.
To learn more about how to use social media for prospecting, go buy my book, Fanatical Prospecting, right now. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever books are sold. I'm not kidding. Go buy the book. It'll be the best decision that you make this year.